So we all love a good dress up, right? Personally, I love wearing my undies on the outside. You? Well, today's guest has built a $7 million business by helping us find the ultimate costume. And it's a business that's doubling every year. That's a lot of costumes.
Well, I said, welcome to a small business marketing show where successful small business owners share their souls to take your marketing straight to the lead. Now, here's your host, Mr. Timbo Reid.
Welcome back, listeners, to another episode of Australia's #1 marketing show. I'm your host, Timbo Reid. You, motivated business owner, ready to crank out some great marketing. If you're new to the show, welcome. It's all we do around here. Introduce you, lift the lid on, take you behind the scenes of wonderful marketing ideas and strategies shared by some of the smartest, most successful small business owners going around. That's what I just love it. And if you're not new to the show, love you. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, this show, lovingly, and I mean lovingly, brought to you by the Key Person of Influence program, the world's leading business accelerator program that is aimed to make you an industry thought leader. You want to learn more about how to do that, then grab a free copy of their Amazon bestseller, hard copy, not soft, hard copy, over at keypersonofinfluence.com/Timbo. The amount of people that email me and go, like what, we get a free book? Yeah, you do. Got to love that. And we're also made possible by Audible, who has more than 180,000 soft copies. Ebooks. Ebooks? No. Audible. Audiobooks? I think that's what I'm trying to say. Ready for you to download. You can get a free one of your choice over at audibletrial.com/SBBM. Righto. Big show today, as usual. I have a chat with online retailer Nathan Huppatz, who's the founder of costumes.com.au, who shares how he's built a $7 million business in quite a short time, and it's doubling every year. Like, how good is that? Who doesn't want one of those? I'll have one. Thank you. Yes, please. $7 million business doubling every year. Ripper. Got it. I also share some tips on how to get more marketing done. Keeps coming up again and again. I know you're struggling with it. Many are. Let's cover that off. Hey, I've got a motivational marketing quote of the day, week, whatever you want to call it, from the great marketer, Abraham Lincoln. Yep, him. So as per usual, there is marketing GOLD dripping from the ceiling over here at the Small Business Big Marketing HQ. So let's get stuck right in.
Join the Small Business Big Marketing community and have your marketing questions answered by other motivated business owners, including Timbo, over at crankmymarketing.com.
Hey, how's your week? You having a good one? I hope so. I hope everything's coming together. Slowly but surely, you are building that small business into quite possibly a medium to big-sized business. Hey, following on from that Oren Claff interview of a few days ago, all about nailing your pitch, had some great feedback and good discussion inside the Small Business Big Marketing Forum, where there's a few members who are helping each other nail their pitch, and I'm helping them along the way. So I sort of shared a way of getting your pitch right, and so did Oren. And here's what some of the here's some nice, succinct little sentences that forum members have come up with to get their pitch right. When they get asked, what do they do? So there's a mobile tyre guy inside the forum. He says, I save lives. That's a good pitch. I'd want to know more. There's a psychologist who's a forum member. In fact, there's more than one. This one says, we stop smart people from doing dumb things. That's a good pitch. I'd want to know more. There's a corporate clothing retailer. He says, we take the stress out of what to wear to work. Cool. How? Like that. Event hire. There's a member who owns an event hire company. She says, we put a smile on your face by creating the day of your dreams. Good pitches, hey? That's what we do inside the forum. We help each other with our marketing. And when you get a pitch nailed like that, it encourages people to want to know more about your business. So love that. That's been part of my week, working through that. You can join the forum, crankmymarketing.com. Get in there. Love to see you. Coaching. How do we get all this marketing done, Timbo? I keep getting asked. It's such a problem, isn't it? But we got to. You're listening to this show. You're getting lots of ideas to market your business differently, more effectively. They remain ideas, team, if you don't do anything with them. So I need you to do something with them, but don't stress. I want you to make marketing a hobby, right? I want you to enjoy it. You've heard me say it before, but when something's a hobby, time disappears. So do this for me. No, don't do it for me. Do it for you. Schedule some time. Schedule time in your diary every week to do the marketing of your business. Knock out an afternoon or an evening or get up earlier. If you're enjoying it, that won't be a problem. Don't try and do it all yourself, right? Outsource as much as you can. Gosh, we've covered outsourcing a lot in the last few weeks. Go back and listen to some of those episodes. Listen to the most recent episode before this one. You got to start handing stuff out, delegating. And just do one thing well. Don't try and do everything. I try and do podcasting well, and it's working for me. You go and try and do video well, or write a book, or become a speaker, or run a great advertising campaign on the road. Do something well. Don't try and do everything. Don't overwhelm. What else about this week? It's a bit of a soapbox week. I had an exciting meeting with a very big brand that has expressed interest in my brand and how we can work together. Live events, sponsorships, video type stuff. Me becoming a bit of an ambassador for them to better engage with their small business clients. I can't tell you any more than that in case it doesn't come off. They might be listening. I don't know, but it's exciting. That was my most exciting bit of this week, actually, when those little meetings happen. They come out of the blue and you never know what's going to materialise. I ran a KPI, Marketing Momentum webinar. That was good, but that's my week. I hope you've had a ripper. Let's get on with the show. Support for this show comes from Key Person of Influence, a business accelerator program that reeks of success. I asked co-founder Glenn Carlson to share some breakthrough results.
Every day, I'm seeing people posting evidence of the transformation from them being an operator to being a key person of influence. So, as a result of them publishing a book, they're getting invited to speak at global conferences that they've only ever dreamed of attending, let alone being a speaker at. Or, an organisation decides to buy 3,000 of their new product, which they've just created, that they would never have been able to take 3,000 orders if they were just a single operator. Or their pitch, getting them into, a deal that is 10 times bigger. And like we see evidence of this every single day. And I look at this every single day to the point where it's become the water I'm swimming in.
KPI, where the results speak for themselves. For a free hard copy of their Amazon bestseller, visit keypersonofinfluence.com/Timbo. Hey, if you've read that KPI book, I would love to know. What did you learn from it? Did it stop you from sleeping at night? Did you listen to me? I said, don't read it before bed or in bed because it's far too motivating. If you've read it and you've learned something from it, got something from it, can you email me? tim@smallbusinessbigmarketing.com or tweet me at Timbo Reid, R-E-I-D. I'd love to know that you got it and what you learnt from it. Righto, let's get stuck into today's guest. It is Nathan Huppatz. He owns costumes.com.au and he's passionate about creating and growing digital businesses. I got introduced to Nathan through the show's very good friend, Paul Greenberg, over at National Online Retailers Association. If you haven't listened to that interview, episode 217, absolute cracker if you want to learn all about e-commerce. Back to Nathan. In 2004, he started this business called Tackle Mania, small eBay store. He sold it for a lot of money. Took it actually to an offline retail store, bricks and mortar, but he sold it for a lot of coin. He is now aggressively growing costumes.com.au and is consistently increasing, doubling every year per annum 5 years straight. How good's that? He's also the author of that Australian book, Making Money on eBay for Dummies. Hey? And he speaks a lot at conferences about e-commerce. He is nailing e-commerce. In this interview, we cover single-word domains, user experience on your website, customer experience on and offline, and so much more. I started off by asking Nathan what he liked dressing up as the most.
Captain America's my favourite at the moment.
Really?
Yep.
What's that about?
Try to do something different every time we organise an event, so we've got a bit of a range to cycle through, yeah.
I actually have a little preference for the Bavarian barmaid costume myself, but...
You've been on my website.
Why wouldn't you? Goodness me. Hey, isn't she attractive? Tell me, Captain America, is there a particular superpower that he brings to the fore for you?
Good question. No, I think he's the most down-to-earth superhero, so that probably describes me pretty well, I think.
Yeah, my insiders, i.e. Paul Greenberg from Nora, he says you're a bit of a quiet achiever. Hey?
He's a nice bloke, Paul. He's a nice bloke.
He is a nice bloke. One of the better interviews I've had on this show, by the way. There you go. I've just set the bar now.
Set the bar.
Yeah,
we'll have to do better.
You've got to beat Greenberg. Tell me, always fascinated by quiet achievers. Do you sometimes wish that you could be a little bit louder?
Not really. I guess it's all part of your personality and who you are and what you do. And I guess we focus more on getting the job done. And we've gone about it fairly quietly recently. But, you know, we've also entered a few awards and picked up a couple and we'll enter a few more this year. And
Righto, Nathan. So let's talk about costumes. Clever name, costumes.com.au.
It was a good one to get hold of, yeah.
How'd you do that?
Well, we were looking for a new name. We started the business under a different name, and it was called Fashion for Fun.
Oh,
so
nasty.
It wasn't the best name. No, I was never that attached to it, and maybe not too many of our customers were either. So we thought, well, let's get something that's got a nicer ring to it.
I've got to go back to that meeting. What was it? What was it? Fashion for fun.
Fashion for fun.
Oh, that's gold. So you are sitting there in a meeting with your business partners, going, "It's a costume business. Any names, guys? Any names?" and does someone go fashion for fun, and you go, "You're an ideas guy."
No, we started off as a bit of a hobby business for one of my partners on the side, and it didn't start off in costumes. It started off as more of I guess as a sort of a lingerie sort of style business. So we took it over as a company, and we thought, look, let's get into the costume market. We saw the market there and thought it'd be a really good one to grow and get into. And
can I just say that even Fashions for Fun is not even a good name for a lingerie business. What were you guys on?
We had to negotiate to get a nicer domain name, so we sat with that one for a couple of years.
Right. At a point in time, you've decided to buy costumes.com.au. Was that an SEO play?
Yeah, a little bit, but over the years, Google's given less value to what they call an exact match domain. But it was really about having a memorable site and a memorable brand. And, you know, most other businesses in the costume space had already picked a name and gone off with it and built their brand, costume something or somethingcostume.com.au. And we thought, well, why not go for costumes.com.au?
Clearly on the secondary market, I'm guessing, it wasn't available.
Someone already owned it, yeah. They weren't really doing much with it, and they told us they hadn't really been approached very often at all about it. So they said, well, if you've got a serious offer, let's talk. And,
wow.
You know, you never know if you don't ask and have a go. So you have to ask questions, yeah.
How long ago was this?
It's probably coming up to 2.5 or 3 years now, I think, yeah.
How much? Come on.
It was a really good price for us and a good price for them.
I had a bloke who's got health.com.au on a few years ago, and he said exactly the same. Come on, just you and I.
Oh, look, it was...
it's a funny thing, though. Like, what is something worth like
it's
that?
It's a really hard thing to put a number on. Yeah, really hard. And it was only at that time we just decided that, look, we reckon we can make a serious business of this, and we were trying to throw up the idea of, well, what is it worth? How much would this be worth to us? And it's such a pie-in-the-sky estimate. So we had a number in mind, and we went to them with that number, and we negotiated actually down from there. So it worked really well.
Do you run the risk with a name because what is the business name? Like, is it costumes.com.au? Is that?
Yeah, that's
right.
what we refer it to as.
Okay, so do you run the risk of becoming generic and a name for the category versus something that's memorable and brandable?
Yes and no. I mean, we wanted, given that we're a pure play and we were probably unlikely to go down the path of having bricks and mortar stores, we were happy with having a generic domain name because it's obviously simple to remember. It's the core product that we sell, so it's the sort of thing people are going to type into Google every day. And we could build a brand and a bit of fun around it. So,
okay.
That's the direction we took.
So, Nathan, you've got this, you've gone and bought a lingerie business, 3 blokes buying a lingerie business. That's, well, let's just stop there because that's pretty funny. You then, was it under-marketed? What did you see in that business for you to buy it and then turn it into costumes?
We initially looked at the supply options we had in that category, and a lot of those suppliers had ranges of costumes as well. And so when we were looking at what e-commerce venture do we want to get into next, we had that site, we had an electronics website, we had a guitar website, and so we had a few options to look at to decide which one we were going to put our effort into. And when we started looking at the costume market, we realised that was underdone in Australia. It was growing, Halloween was growing, and there weren't many competitors in the space. And when we looked at those guys, we thought, yeah, they've got some head start on us, 2 or 3 years in some cases, but we thought that's something we think we could do really well.
It's a great philosophy. A mate of mine bought a strange business a few years ago. I said, why'd you buy it? He said it was underdone. He says, so underdone. There was so much upside. Another mate saw a business that was under-marketed, and you've got to have the confidence, I suppose, to look at that and go, you know what, we could get in there and absolutely turn it on its head.
Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be for an empty niche. It can be a competitive one.
Absolutely.
You can still look at it and think, yeah, we can reinvent what these guys are doing and do a good job, yeah.
What was it? I mean, costumes are competitive. You saw growth in the market. Halloween is becoming bigger in Australia. God knows why, but it is, and you'd be happy with that. But what was the gap?
Look, I think looking in the US market, costume dress-ups and Halloween in particular is really popular and really massive. And we looked at what kids like to do for birthday parties, and a lot of them were themed. They dress up as their favourite superhero character or whatever it might be. There's a lot of licensed apparel and so on in Kmart's and Targets and big box stores. But costumes is a range that kids love to dress up, and so we thought, well, if we're going to let them dress up, what can we do to help that market grow and grow with that market? And it's a perfect product for online because you have to have a really big range. There's so many different things you can dress up as. The big box stores are never going to hold 10,000 products in stock like we've got. So it was a perfect sort of online business, and we could see that the growth potential was going to be there. But early on, we really didn't know how big it could get. It probably wasn't until we were a couple of years in that we started to get a few numbers in our head and thought, we reckon we can get it to X,
And did you?
Yeah, we've gone past it actually. So it's
love that. Wrap some numbers around it. Where are you at?
This financial year, we're looking to turn over around 7 million, something like that. So it's grown pretty quickly. It's our 5th year. So we've been doubling pretty much every year up until this year.
How many staff?
At the moment, we have just under 10 staff in the business. So we try to keep that pretty efficient. We do a good job.
0 to 7 mil, 10 staff. What are we saying? 3rd year?
5th year. This is our 5th year. Yeah.
5th year. What for you, what for the business, what's been the big kind of tipping point each time? Doubling every 12 months is significant. What are you doing? What's your secret sauce, Colonel?
Some years of experience in doing it before. We've built some other businesses before, and I guess with this one, our focus has really been around the brand, costumes, the website experience, and how we deal with customers. Everything else sort of flows on from that. But I guess every year we've tried to improve what we do, either improve the range, improve the website, improve the marketing, improve our systems so people get their product faster and they have a better experience. We're always doing those things all the time, but we focus this year, for example, is more about content and range and refining some of the marketing that we put in place last year. So,
can I ask you by content? Yeah. What do you mean? Because I'm looking at your site and looking at it now, you've got plenty of product,
Yep.
brilliantly categorised, easy to find. I would have. It lacks content for me. What would I know? I don't have a $7 million e-commerce site, but I do look at this and I go, oh, this brand, this industry is screaming out for what I would call content that's both educational and entertaining. What do you mean by content?
Exactly that. We want customers to come to our website and find information about how to plan a party, what you should be wearing, how do you make your own costume if you don't want to buy one.
Yeah.
Anything that's helpful or valuable to the customer we want to sell to, that's content for us. And it doesn't have to be specifically costume related. It can be party related, it could be play related, it could be toy related. So we're playing in a category it's bigger than just costumes. So that's how we look at content.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, I get that in a way, although there's plenty to say around costumes. So to that point, let's start talking marketing because we're kind of heading down that path and it is a marketing show. By the way, listeners, talking to Nathan Huppatz of costumes.com.au. So with your marketing, Nathan, there isn't a lot of content on there and your social media is kind of, you got 27,000 followers on Facebook. Twitter's kind of struggling at the moment. What is that a drive for the future? I don't mean to be negative here, but I'm trying to understand because there's masses of things you could be doing, and there's some great things you are doing in terms of SEO and things. We'll talk about that in a minute. But is content a push going forward?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and for us, because we're a small business, we don't have a massive investor behind us or anything like that. We've always been fairly ROI focused. So we look at the best bang for buck that we're going to get for our effort. So up until now, social media for us has probably not been a massively high priority when we've got other avenues that we could focus on first as a small growing online business to generate revenue, to get new customers in the door.
Interesting. I guess one of the things I look at, costumes, it's quite an exciting business and industry and fun. And there, social media lends itself to that. So in terms of ROI, what does that meeting look like when you guys are sitting down and going, how do you answer the question right now, what is going to give us the biggest bang for our buck?
Yeah, I guess if you're a small business and you've got a limited marketing budget and you want to make sure that the dollar you spend is going to generate dollars in return, this is the advice that I give to other small business or e-commerce business owners as well, is to sit down and say, well, what are the marketing channels that you're in at the moment? How are they performing? What is the opportunity in each of those channels? How much effort do you need to put in to reach more of that opportunity? Sometimes it's hard to estimate, sometimes it's not. And maybe what are the new opportunities that you think might perform well? We would sit down and put those in a bit of a matrix, and we'd look at benefit from and reward for effort for each of those and say, well, at the moment, hypothetically, maybe Google AdWords has been growing. Maybe you look at your competitors and what they're doing in Google AdWords. You can do a lot more on Google AdWords with not a lot of effort, and it returns you a good investment. You'd be better off spending more time right now building that up than investing in an unknown like social media, which is, for us, it's proven hard to convert customers from, but we do get a lot of customer engagement.
Yeah, right. Well, you're a bunch of IT guys, aren't you?
Mostly IT and that, yeah. I mean, we've done a bit of marketing here and there, but really we've been, I guess more technical marketers than brand marketers. But last year we hired a marketing manager, Anita Williams, and she's been great for the business. So coming up with some new sponsorship opportunities and some other branding opportunities has been good to get our brand out there a little bit more.
I think one of the things you've done really well is the user experience on the website. So many websites we go to and it's like, what do you want me to do? What do I have to do to get what I need? Whereas your user experience is really clean and simple. And I don't imagine that's an easy thing to come by. So what insight or tip can you give everyone listening, all of who own business, all of who own websites most likely, to improve our user experience?
Yeah, it's a really good question. For us, it was a pretty big project because, as you can imagine, we've got 10,000 products, everything from kids' baby costumes to adult costumes. We've got costumes for pets, accessories, and everything else.
Bavarian barmaids.
That's right, your favourite. And we took a step back from the site itself and really started thinking about who are our customers, how many different types of customer personas shop on our website, how would they be looking for costumes? And if people look for a product in different ways or look for different information, we just had to make sure that we could try and construct the site and build it in a way that people could find what they needed to quickly and easily, whether they wanted to search for a brand or a theme or an age range or something like that. So that was our core focus, I guess, is just to serve the customer intent and what they wanted to do as best we could.
So the way, being an audio discussion, what I will say, listeners, is that the website's broken up into adult, kids, teen, plus sizes, accessories, really easy to find your way around. You seem to allocate the sort of top half of the what I'd call above the fold to kind of current things, like you've got Halloween and the Avengers there right now.
Yep.
So that you, again, kind of seeing what the trends are and playing to them.
Absolutely, yeah.
What about removing fear?
Removing fear is a massive thing, for website conversion. We spend quite a bit of time working on that. Key things we do to remove fear are to think about whenever the customer is on a page on your website, you want to guide them to the next action. Now, that might be to find a product, it might be to add a product to the cart, or it might be to buy a product. So at each of those stages, you have to think, well, what would stop a customer adding a product to a shopping cart? Do they need to see shipping information? Do they need to see where you're located? Would they like to see a phone number because they feel happier that they can call and speak to a real person? The phone number is an interesting example. We put it quite prominently on the website. We do get a number of calls, but our hypothesis is also that if we have a phone number there, it's telling a customer browsing the website that there are real people there that will answer the phone and help them out. So we think that would probably encourage people to shop there, even if they don't call us. Then there are other things like you get to check out and you want to make sure that you've got we've got a Google Trusted Store logo, so we're part of the Google Trusted Stores program. We show security certificates and we have other information there to make customers feel safe in what they're doing. It's really, really important.
To the phone number idea, which makes complete sense, why wouldn't you have an address? Because I know you do have a pickup address in Kilsyth, which you're happy to promote, but it's not top right-hand corner.
No, and that's because really we're geared up for online distribution. And we do offer pickups, but we don't have a shop front and we've got a big range of products. So what we'd rather do is people use the website to find what they're interested in, perhaps place an order first and then come down and pick the product up.
Yeah, okay. So, Nathan, SEO, I did a couple of searches. I did Halloween costumes. I did Harry Potter costumes. You came up organically about third or fourth, but you weren't in the paid. Is that your strategy to rank organically as opposed to into the AdWords?
It really depends on the customer intent. And getting organic traffic like that, it is important, and having good content will help you get there. But with paid advertising, for example, just the generic term Halloween costumes really doesn't convert as well as some people might think. So there are certain terms that we wouldn't spend a lot of money on.
Right.
But there are other terms you could type in and we would be number one or number two because they convert really well for us. So we've got pretty mature Google AdWords campaigns, and we have hundreds of thousands of keywords in our account. So it's a key part of our marketing.
What's your secret sauce when it comes to customers then? You talked about brand, you talked about user experience on the website. Customer service is fundamental to costumes as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
How?
So we have full-time customer service staff located here in the warehouse. So we do all of the distribution ourselves. Our customer service staff handle a lot of the product. They handle our returns. So the staff downstairs have got fantastic experience with the product. So a customer can ring up and say, I'm interested in a product, but I don't want it to be too hot because I'm going to a summer event and I'm about this size. And
Bavarian barmaid again.
There you go.
One.
So look, product knowledge is key, and the fact that someone can ring up and ask questions and get the right advice is important.
Did you see a documentary on SBS, which for overseas listeners is our sort of, what would you say, multicultural TV channel?
I would say, yeah.
Did you see the documentary? It went for a number of episodes on an adult e-commerce business
In the UK? I did, yeah. I was interested in that because I'd never seen a documentary on another e-commerce business that was of a decent size. So I was very keen to see how they ran their business. Yeah.
It was fascinating. And from a customer service point of view, what drew my attention was it wasn't uncommon to them cutting to one of the ladies in the call centre holding a large dildo or some French-made costume and talking intimately, excuse the pun, about it. I mean,
that's an image I can't get rid of. Yeah.
But I mean, putting all jokes aside, and there was how would you say it? It was a filthy documentary, but what a business, hey? And I'm guessing have you modelled some of the learnings into costumes?
Yeah, really, it's having good, knowledgeable staff that are willing to help, and it goes beyond that too. It's the emails that we send our customers when they place their order, and we send them tracking numbers, and we ship overnight air express Australia wide, so you get your product the next day. We do a follow-up email to see if people are happy.
Nice.
So it's that whole experience. It's looking at all the touch points when they first visit the site, when they're going through a process of buying something, and how do we treat them afterwards. And we want as many people to come back and shop with us again as we can get.
I'm so big on that. Just again, let's talk about the meeting that would happen. Do you literally whiteboard that or mind map it out from, the moment someone finds you to the moment they contact you to buying to post-purchase? Is that a big drawing on a whiteboard somewhere?
We have gone through that process a number of times, and we're actually going through it. We're going through it again because as the business has evolved, customers' needs change, our product ranges change, the way we can communicate changes as well. So we can SMS people about their order details, or we can tell people if their order couldn't be delivered and it's at a post office nearby. So there's always new things that are happening that can change the way we communicate as well. So, we've spent a lot of time doing that.
Love it, Nathan. Last question, mate. When Paul Greenberg, who was head of National Online Retailers Association, came on, I asked him what would he do differently if he was starting an e-commerce business today. One of the things he said was that he would sell something Australian because the Japanese and the Americans are still desperately wanting Australian things. That was his little gold nugget. So you can't use that one. That's just kind of why I'm telling you that. What do you say to those of us who are going, geez, I wouldn't mind a little e-commerce business. Where would I start?
I would say start on eBay. And the reason for that is that you need to learn if you're not experienced. And eBay is an instant store that's really cheap to run, with instant customers, and it will teach you very, very quickly how to sell, how to take a photo, how to write a good description, and how to be really great at customer service. So I would say start on eBay, and as soon as you can, start your own website and start building your own database of customers.
Fascinating. I was only yesterday looking, I wanted to buy the big jumbo Jenga blocks. You know Jenga, that game?
I do.
So I thought, I'll get into that. And then I did a search on jumbo Jenga blocks, and it took me, of course, to eBay. I must say I was completely disappointed by the quality of the stores that were selling them, because still it seems to me, famous last words, it wouldn't be that hard to stand out on eBay, because still they're using Comic Sans and pink and yellow and green fluorescent fonts.
Yep, that is exactly right.
And bad photos and bad layout. And it's like, in the end, I actually didn't buy because I couldn't find out actually what height the Jenga blocks were going to. Just basic information.
Yeah.
So where do you learn that outside of being aware of it? Like, is it just hit and miss, or what do you do?
Well, there's certainly a couple of good books in the market, and one of them has been written by an ex-eBay employee. There's another book that you could read, which was the one I wrote which is Making Money on eBay for Dummies.
There we go.
That's a good lead. You weren't sure I was going to say that.
I love it.
But really, like you said, you'll know when you're listing a product whether people are going to find the right information, whether the picture's good enough. I don't think you have to stand out too much on eBay to actually do a good job. As you've seen, a lot of eBay sellers, it might be a part-time income or something like that. But if you really want to make a business out of it and you go the extra mile and present your product like you would want to see it, that's a great way to approach it. Yeah.
Generally in business, how would you want to be sold? What would you know? How would you want the experience to be?
Exactly
if
right.
That's what you want. It's generally
Put
what
yourself
others
in the customer's shoes. Yeah.
Correct. Hey, Nathan, last question. I know that the last one was the last question. I've got one more. What's that quote of Branson's you love?
Screw it, let's do it.
Isn't there another one? Isn't there? I read an interview where you said, that's right, like in 10 to 20 years' time, you don't want to be saying to yourself, I wish I'd done that.
I wish I'd done it. No, I mean, you've got to have a go. That's the thing. You can't make assumptions in life, and if you want something to happen, go out there and do it. Ask the questions that no one else has asked and make it happen.
Roll the dice. Thanks, Nathan.
That's exactly right.
Love your work, mate. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
What a good fella. Nathan Huppatz. Hey, hit him up on Twitter, @Huppy, Huppy. Good Twitter handle. Nice. I wish I had it, Timbo. Anyway, I'd love you to do that. Tell him you enjoyed the interview. My top 3 learnings from that fireside chat with the Hupster. These are brought to you by the very good folk at Key Person of Influence. Grab that book. I keep telling you. keypersonofinfluence.com/Timbo. Learning number 1. Look at your business through the eyes of your customers. What do they want? How would they do it? Keep putting the customer hat on, team, not the business owner's hat. Learning number 2, review your user experience on your business's website. Make it easy for your customers, your prospects, your visitors to do whatever you want them to do next. I love that. Every single page on your website is a new page. What do you want people to do having landed on it? Learning number 3, remove all fear, not just from your website, from all your marketing touch points. Any blockages that are stopping people from doing business with you, get rid of them. Hey, this e-commerce stuff applies just as much to your veterinary business, your plumbing business, whatever it is you do. All right? And if all else fails, wear a Bavarian barmaid costume. Abraham Lincoln once said, if I had 9 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend the first 6 hours sharpening my axe. Righto. Like that quote. It's a ripper. You're sharpening the axe by listening to this show, right? Then go and implement. Start actioning. Hey, plenty of marketing gold coming your way over the coming days and weeks. Next episode, we're joined by a fellow who's nailing memorable marketing. He's got 2 Guinness Book of World Records, and he's slightly crazy. What he's particularly good at is he's a franchisee of a large US takeaway chain. And he's pretty good at upsetting head office with his crazy marketing ideas. So I think you're going to enjoy that one. Hey, be sure to grab a free hard copy of the Key Person of Influence Amazon bestseller over at keypersonofinfluence.com/Timbo. And grab a free audiobook of your choice over at audibletrial.com/SBBM. Now, audio production, huge round of applause. Please insert them right now for Mr. Daryl Misson for creating the beautiful show that this sounds like. That doesn't make sense, but you know what I mean. The music bed created by Lockie Dolly. Love you, Lockie. If you need a speaker for an upcoming event, then I am all yours. Go and check me out, timreid.com.au. And finally, but not leastly, go and surround yourself with other motivated business owners. Hey, start to really improve your marketing by becoming a forum member over at crankmymarketing.com. Join for $69 a month, lucky for some, and if you don't like it, you can cancel within 30 days and I will come to your home and give you your money back. No, I won't really do that. I'll just push the refund button on PayPal. But that would be cool if I could come to your home and give you your money back, but that would be awkward as well. Until next week, I'm Timbo Reid. You're not. May your marketing be the best marketing. Bye for now.